Okay, this is the continuation of Intro to Trigonometry 1. Alright, so on the other one we were given the cosecant. On this one we're going to be given something interesting. Here's our given. We are given that the tangent of theta is equal to 6. Alright, so let's make a little answer box here so I know where I can work. Alright, so again, our little triangle that we make. Okay, and again, you can put theta wherever you want. I always seem to put it right down here. Here's our right angle. This side is opposite. This one is the hypotenuse because it's across from the 90, and the adjacent side is the one touching the angle. All right, so notice we have tangent of 6. Again, just like the other one where we had a decimal, we had to make it a nice fraction. This one is easy enough to make a fraction because you just put it over 1 and we are done. So since tangent is opposite over adjacent, you just label those sides with a 6 and a 1. So we can put a 6 here for the opposite. We can put a 1 here for the adjacent. Now in this one, we have to calculate the hypotenuse. So let's call this one an x. And then we have the hypotenuse squared is equal to the other two sides squared and summed. So we have 6 squared plus 1 squared, and then we have x squared is 36 plus 1, which is 37. And then x is the square root of 37, which is not reduce. Okay. So the easy one we have is tangent. There it is, 6. Write that down. And don't put 6 over 1, it's 6. Now the cotangent is just the reciprocal of 6, which is just 1 divided by 6, 1/6. There it is. Okay, we have a third of the problem done already. And let's go with sine next. Sine. Sine is the opposite, which is 6, divided by the hypotenuse, which is the root 37, which I forgot to write over here. Okay, rationalizing the denominator is 6 root 37 over 37. 6 root 37 over 37. And this is another one with cosecant. I don't want to reciprocate that mess right there. So do not re-rationalize a denominator. We already rationalized the 37. So the cosecant easily enough is the reciprocal of that right here, which is root 37 over 6. And we have cosine. And I'm going to guess we have a similar situation here that we won't want to re-rationalize this one. So the cosine is the adjacent side, which is 1, divided by the hypotenuse, which is root 37. We write that down. And right away then, with secant, if we want, we can take the reciprocal of that, which is just root 37 over 1, but we're not going to write that. So to continue with cosine, though, we multiply by root 37, and we get root 37 over 37. And then this one is just root 37, and we were done with those. All right, so write all this down. Trigonometric values of 30, 45, and 60 degrees. Function values for these angles are used so often they should be memorized. Okay. Now, normally I would construct special right triangles, find the function values for you. I will do that in class with you. In this video, to make things shorter, I am just going to give you the answers. Well, you already have the answers. These are the points on your unit circle. the 30, 45, and the 60. And I should not have to tell you what these are. So for example, if you draw the unit circle, all right, and then we have our 0 here, we have our 90 here, we have the 30, which is here, we have the 45, and we have the 60, which are right there. And we can easily just find the points right off the unit circle. So for the 30, we should know that this one is root 3 over 2, and this one is 1/2. Okay, so we're going to come over here. Now if you remember that the first number represents the cosine of an angle, and the second number represents the sine. So I didn't draw my circle big enough, but this represents the 30. So I can come right over here, and I can say that the sine of 30 is 1/2. And then I can say that the cosine of 30 is the root 3 over 2. All right, and we'll be back for tangent. We're going to do those tangents last, and I'll show you a quick, easy way we can calculate those. And all we have to do is know what the sine and cosine is, and we can calculate the tangent, and as well as the other 6 trigonometric functions if we need to. All right, let's do the 45. So the 45, the point located at this position at 45 is root 2 over 2. I put my comma a little too early, I'll put it over there. And then the other value is also root 2 over 2. So that tells us that both the sine and the cosine are root 2 over 2. And then you look up at the 60-degree angle, which is up here, and it is just the reverse of the 30-degree angle. So we have 1/2 and root 3 over 2. And when I explain the 30, 60, 90, we will see why that reverses easily. All right, so that tells us the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2, and the sine of 60 is 1/2. And again, the quicker you have these memorized, the easier things will go. Okay, so here's a formula I'm going to give you right away. Normally, this formula does not come until the next week or two, but I'm going to give you this early because it makes things way easier to find the tangent. Okay, so also memorize this formula as well. Okay, the formula is pretty easy. The tangent of theta can easily be found. Now, there are multiple formulas that we have for trigonometry. This is one of the easiest, just to tell you. There are lots of formulas we're going to have. And all you have to do is take the sine of an angle and divide it by its cosine. And we will get its tangent. So let's do that for the 45. So we have that the tangent of 45 is equal to the sine of 45 divided by the cosine of 45. Okay, sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. The cosine of 45 is also root 2 over 2. And we should know that any number divided by itself except for 0 is 1. So the tangent of 45 is 1. Okay, that was pretty easy. Then we have some of the other ones. All right, so we have tangent of 30. Okay, the tangent of 30 is the sine of 30, and I'm just going to write that down without the whole formula because I don't want to run into stuff over here. So the tangent of 30 is going to be the sine of 30, which is 1/2, and we are going to divide that by the cosine of 30, which is root 3 over 2. Now, if you notice, we have a fraction divided by a fraction. And to avoid any sort of problems with dividing with fractions, we just turn it into multiplication. Okay, so what we do is we take the first number and we write that down, or the number on the top. And we write 1/2. And you change division to multiplication, and you flip the bottom number. And you write it as 2 over root 3. And then you simplify stuff. So notice we have a 2 in the numerator and denominator. Those can cancel out nicely, and we are left with 1 over root 3. However, we cannot leave the root 3 on the bottom, so we will multiply by root 3 over root 3. Okay, and we will get root 3 over 3. And there's our answer for tangent of 30. Now, here's your option. You can memorize that the tangent of 30 is root 3 over 3, or you can do the calculation I just did every single time that you run into tangent of 30. We don't want to do that. That's why we have these memorized. We don't want to have to recalculate it every single time, and you will just memorize these. And it makes it so much easier. Just look at the work we had to do for that. It's not bad, but you don't want to have to do it every single time that we need it. Okay, tangent of 60, same process. Tangent of 60 degrees is the sine of 60 degrees, and the sine of 60 is root 3 over 2. And also we're attempting to memorize that. All right, so when you're doing homework, before homework, during homework, after homework, just keep memorizing this stuff. Make some flashcards if you have to. I'm not just saying memorize this like 50 times just so you don't memorize it. There's a reason, and it's because you need to memorize it, or you're going to be taking forever on quizzes, and you're going to be running out of time and doing poorly on stuff. You have to get this stuff memorized so you can do it quickly and easily. Okay, so we're going to take that top fraction, write that down, we change division to multiplication, and we take the reciprocal of the denominator. And here again, I see the two 2's will cancel, and we are left with square root of 3 divided by 1, which is just square root of 3. So let's get that memorized. And the way I tell these apart, now the other ones you're just going to have to memorize. These, I always remember that the tangent of 30 has a 3 in it, and there's a 3 on the bottom. The tangent of 60 does not have a 3 in it, so there's no 3 on the bottom. And that's what I kind of think about when I'm doing these. All right, let's clear a little bit of this because I want to do some examples down the bottom. All right, so here we go. 6 problems, and we are done with this video. All right, here we go. Look, watch how easy this is. Ready? Tangent of 30. Oh wait, we have that memorized. It's root 3 over 3 because there's a 3 in it. It's got a 3 on the bottom. Oh, look at that. We have it memorized. Look how easy that was. We didn't even have to make a calculation. Okay, cosine of 60. All right, so we have to have that memorized. All right, so here's what goes through my head. The sine of 30 is a half. So I know that the cosine of 60 is not a half. That it must be the root 3 over 2 thingy. So it's the root 3 over 2. Oops. All right, looks like we have a video done. Could be getting that up in a second. All right, we have root 3 over 2. Okay, next, sine of 45. Sine of 45. Oh, wait, we have that memorized. It's root 2 over 2, and we're done. Look how easy these are. Oh, wait, cosecant of 30. Oh, wait, this isn't one of the ones we have memorized. Oh, what do? Oh, we figure it out. Oh, you just figure it out. It's as easy as that. Half the stuff we have memorized, half the stuff we figure out. That's all. All right, so how do we get the cosecant of 30? Well, here's what we know. We know the sine of 30. Well, we also know the cosine of 30 and tangent of 30, but neither of those helps us because the cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So if we know what the sine is, we just take the reciprocal. And we have memorized the sine of 30 is 1/2. So for cosecant of 30, you just take the reciprocal of 1/2 and you get a 2. Oh, there. Oh, look. It's not that bad. All right, cotangent of 30. Oh, we don't have cotangent either. We don't have that memorized. But you will soon. Don't worry, because you'll see what it is. And you'll go, oh, I really do have it memorized. So you do have it memorized. You just don't know. That's the fun part of it. Okay, here we go. We do know what the tangent of 30 is. 1, it's sitting right there on your paper, okay? And it's also sitting right over here. So we know that the tangent of 30 is root 3 over 3. Okay, we already know that. Well, we need to go get the cotangent of 30, and the cotangent of 30 can be found by taking the reciprocal of root 3 over 3, and I will prove to you that you kind of already know what the number is because it's going to look real familiar to you. So the reciprocal of this is 3 over root 3. And you multiply that, top and bottom, by root 3 to rationalize the denominator, and you get 3 root 3 over 3, and then the 3's mathematically cancel, and you are left with root 3. So the cotangent is root 3, which kind of looks very familiar, yes? Which might be sitting right about there, correct? See, I told you you knew it. The tangent and the tangent of 30 and the 60 are just the opposite of each other, and the cotangent and the cotangent of them are going to be the same number as the other ones, cotangent. All right, I don't know what I just said right there, but you can figure it out. All right, sine of 90. Oh, we don't have that one memorized. What the heck do we do with that? Oh, we can use our unit circle that we have fully memorized. Look at all this stuff we have memorized. And we can easily figure stuff out because we have stuff memorized. Isn't this awesome? All right, here's our unit circle with all this other stuff. I'm most interested in the 90-degree angle, which is right here, because it says sine of 90, and you look at its point on the outside. And you can look here and say, well, that point is 0, 1. And we know this to be cosine and sine because all the points are cosine, comma, sine. So we're looking for the sine, which is the second number, which is 1. Oh, maybe you might want to memorize some of that stuff too, and you won't have to do what I just did there. But that's how you walk through things. You either memorize stuff or you figure it out based on other memorized things. All right. Good luck with the work. Remember, no decimals in your answers. You must solve everything just the way I did. Make sure you use Pythagorean theorem. Make sure you reduce your fractions. And do not leave an unsimplified radical. So and I forget, one of the ones I know that I'm going to give you has something like root 20 in it, maybe, something like that, which you are going to have to turn back into something like 2 root 5. Okay, you can't leave an unsimplified radical. All right. Good luck. See you tomorrow.